My name is Brian Jones, and I'm from Labre Indian School in Ashland, Montana, and that's located close to Sturgis, for any of you that go out that way on a motorcycle or anything. And we service Native American communities from the Northern Cheyenne Reservation and the Crow Reservation. And part of our mission at St. Labre is also to operate bakeries, and I'm fairly staff heavy. So we're very blessed in that. We're able to do that. And I've got to put on my cheaters here. And everything that he said, I have to operate my cafeterias by. Everything that you people are doing, I get to read and look at it and make sure that it all falls into the guidelines for 1,800 meals a day that I prepare. So it is challenging, but it's also very rewarding. First of all, I want to thank Sonia for being invited here today. I came into this 5 years ago, and these rules and regulations that we're all talking about have been around a lot longer than that. So sitting around the tables and coming to conferences and being involved in different things, people say, well, the whole grain this and whole grain that, how are you successful? And I said, well, I changed the sauce. You did what? I changed the sauce so the kids will eat it. So even my food supplier, he comes and he says, where'd you get the sauce? I said, well, we make it. So these are our strategies, what we had to do. I mean, if this is how we have to cook and we have to prepare our meals with what you people provide us, I've got to make it taste good. So the best way to do it is ask. Like I said, we're the largest test kitchen in the United States. So ask a third grader if they like it or not. Fifth graders pretty much are starting to know everything. And then educating the students. This is the first year where I'm not hearing slanderous remarks about Michelle Obama that I used to hear, because she's the one that changed the way they have to eat. First year. So that stigma is gone. So that tells me something, that I need to focus the education of nutrition at preschool, first grade, letting them grow something in the windowsill from a chopped off piece of romaine and letting them bring that to the cafeteria and say, Mr. Jones, can I add this to my salad? They take ownership. They take that ownership, they figure out how to do it. We also operate all of our own bakeries. That didn't work. So the one on the right, I was supposed to tell you when I showed him this, that she is single and she loves to bake and she makes some of the best fry bread around, because she learned from her mom, who's been in that kitchen for 39 years. She's 75 years old. Yeah, she's still there. Now you people are saying that can't be whole wheat. That's rose way too much. It is. I had a meeting with my staff, and it was in there, and the meeting went on a little long, and it rose to that amount. But what that taught my staff is, if you let it rise, and you saw the deal there today, that rose to where it's supposed to. So we're a lot more successful. And the kids are eating it. Education, education, education. I'm educated by being here today and by being invited here today for this week. I'm learning so much. I have so many questions. I want to buy my quinoa from Lisa because there's a story behind it, and I can tell that story to my kids. I want to buy my wheat from that ranch in Oregon because I can put a story to it. And the teacher, who's now part of the business that's reaching out to kids. This is what's missing, as far as I'm concerned, in this country, is we're missing that story of what we're eating. We have our own garden. We have a FFA program. The little kids up there in the top right, those are rose hips. It's one of the healthiest natural berry you can get. So we picked this right before Native American Week. Then they learn how to make jelly with it. And then they take their fry bread that's made with not whole wheat, and they eat it. But it takes ownership. That's got healing. It means something to them. It's in their culture. Dr. Seuss. Okay, how does Dr. Seuss come into nutrition? Comes into education. I bet you remember listening to the Dr. Seuss stories when you were a kid. So if we start talking nutrition at that age, this helps my program be successful. And then that's a bus that was sitting out in one of our schools, and one of the guys said, hey, could I make that into a greenhouse? And the school said, sure. And there it is. I was afraid of this technology. So this is the white whole wheat buns we make and our bread. Like I say, with all those sack lunches sandwiches that we make, the kids were getting bored with them, so I would buy that whole grain rich square bread. And the kids would say, well, we want our own bread because it's bigger, it's better, and they like it. So we quit using the croissants as much. Every now and then we will, but it has to be whole grain. But they like this. But we have to get the mixture just right, or it doesn't toast right, or it doesn't taste good when they're tired and they bite into it. How do I know that? I coach football. I talk to the kids. I saw what they were throwing away and what they're eating. So that's where the answers are at. Who doesn't like Texas toast, French toast? That's a little smaller loaf. I take it, my meat slicer, and I cut it a little thicker. It meets the guidelines that I have to follow. You're not listening to all this, are you? I'll talk to you guys over here. They love it. They absolutely love it. I'm not going to buy I bought it for a while. I thought, if I'm short-staffed, I need to have something in there. I can open up a package and the kids can dunk it. Not at our schools. So I know when I was going to school, I would look forward to this when I put this on my menu. This is the one that I've had fun with this last year and a half. My wife is diabetic. She loves quinoa. She loves all the other stuff. You can get the chickpea pasta. But when I found out there was chickpea pasta that turned to opaque color when you cooked it, I was all over it. So on the top right one there, that's a macaroni and cheese. Still using my whole grain pasta that I get from USDA, but I throw in the 51% or 50% of the chickpea pasta. It's loaded with protein. Kids love it. They go back to class, they're ready to learn, but they're not throwing it away. Down on the bottom right, that's our spaghetti. That picture didn't show up very good. But that's the one that when I first went to conference and spoke, they said, well, what do you mean that you changed the sauce? I quit using the pasta, just putting it on, and then the spoon of throwing the sauce on there. No, we mix it all together. So I don't cook my pasta as long, so it doesn't break down. We time it, we expedite it like restaurants do, and we're serving it to our kids, and they're eating it. They're not throwing it away. The one on the left I'm real proud of. That's just the good old garden variety salad, but there's chickpea pasta in there. There's lentil pasta. It's loaded with vegetables and quinoa. Well, I'd been hiding the white quinoa in some of my dishes and my soups and stuff, but I took a risk and put the red in there, and people said, what's that? And I said, quinoa. They go, what's that? And I said, just eat it. But the teachers that knew what it was, they're going, whoa, out in rural Montana. We're frontier. 2 days shipping is 10 days if they can find your house, And I like it that way. So some of the stuff I heard about convenience and stuff, I'm like, I'm okay where I'm at. Tried this on the teachers first. They loved it. Of course, some of them have lived other places. Taste testing, working with the teachers, the student council, the student involvement, and the food waste. The whole grain tortilla is not a success. But how I've made it work and how they're eating it, in the morning I don't make it a labor-intensive breakfast burrito where my staff gets there a half hour early and they make them and put them on the plate. It's decomposed. It's just like a taco, soft shell taco. I let the kids put the stuff in it they want on the line. Some of them scrape the eggs and everything off the side. The kids that used to throw away that tortilla are now folding it, and they'll eat it along with it. But my cooks were upset. They're saying, we're spending all this time making all these burritos, and all they're doing is throwing them away. You're just wasting money. This is stupid. Yeah, but we got to make it work. So I'd go to the garbage. I took him to the garbage can. And I said, Johnny, how come you're throwing your tortilla away? I don't like it. Would you like it if it was white? No. When you go to Taco Bell, do you eat tortillas? No. Do you like quesadillas? No. And it was that way. It's something with the texture. Native American kids, they're used to fry bread, they're used to oven bread, they're used to these things. So we have to work cultural. We have to get them to where they hear us and they understand and show them the difference. How do you do that? Education. Kids are amazed, like, wow, you sure threw a lot of food away today. Well, we don't do it anymore. It used to be set up, like a cafeteria, the tray, the food and everything. You go into a window and I had a staff cleaning up everything. I moved it to this. Now we have a little bit better system than that. But I had a teacher come up and say, why do you have us doing your job? And I said, well, why is that? Well, you got to scrap the trays. And I said, well, for one reason, it's teaching the kids, if they don't eat it, they're throwing it away. So it took about 2 months. My servers, because I had all my servers go and look, you're not helping Johnny by giving him more food, because we have to monitor all that. You're not helping him. So come here with me to the garbage and watch Johnny throw it away. He's not going to eat it all. So there's a lot of things that we can do.